Good afternoon. I'm James Paticulariana, and today we are going to learn and study about Elaboration Likelihood Model as part of our compliance in the subject communication theory. Let's start. But before we proceed to our discussion proper, I am to cite a specific lesson I have learned from my media and information literacy class during my senior high school education, and I choose copyright infringement.
What is copyright? It is a collection of all rights enjoyed by the owner of an artistic or literary work. Under the Philippine law, original intellectual creations in the literary and artistic domain are copyrightable. This includes books, pamphlets, articles, musical compositions, paintings, architecture, and all literary works and artistic works and alike.
Is a copyright registration necessary to protect artistic or literary works?
No, copyrightable works are protected from the moment of their creation.
Can the author or creator waive or transfer copyright?
Yes, the author or creator of any work can waive or transfer copyright on his or her work in favor of a corporation or another individual.
What is the duration of copyright protection?
In the Philippines, copyright protection lasts during the lifetime of the author plus 50 years after the author or creator's death.
What are the rights conferred to the author of a work?
The author has the exclusive right to carry out, authorize, or prevent the reproduction of the work or the substantial portion of the work. Dramatization, translation, adaptation, abridgment, arrangement, or other transformation of the work.
So do not engage on any copyright infringement or simply don't copy, because if you do, you would be deemed as indefensible.
Let us now proceed to the discussion proper of the communication theory assigned to me, the Elaboration Likelihood Model. Not all information processing theory involves learning from news and advertising. Much of this work is devoted to how people react and interpret persuasive messages.
Psychologists Richard Petty and John Cacioppo of 1986 developed a model of persuasion they called the Elaboration Likelihood Model, which, accepting the cognitive psychology view that people are cognitive missers according to Taylor of 1981.
Acknowledges that when presented with a persuasive message, people sometimes put a lot of effort into their cognition. Sometimes, though, they rely on less demanding, simple analysis.
As social psychologists, Petty and Cacioppo argued that there must be something more than the efficient use of cognitive capacity that motivates these different information processing strategies.
Their elaboration likelihood model, then, is based on the assumption that for social reasons, people are motivated to hold correct attitudes. Why? Because incorrect attitudes are generally maladaptive and can have deleterious behavioral, affective, and cognitive consequences. If a person believes that certain objects, people, or issues are good when they are in fact bad, a number of subsequent disappointments and incorrect behavioral decisions may follow.
Take by way of example, in buying a car. In Elaboration Likelihood Model, we use two distinct routes in information processing, the central or the thinking logical path, and the peripheral or the fear, desire, and shallow cues path. When we use the central path in buying a car, what we envision and foresee is our need of a car, great and efficient price, and the high performance of the car unit. But when we use of our peripheral path, what we imagine is we just need a car, sexy girls, we can pay anyway, and this is the car what we want.
It generally shows our attitude change and persuasion. That when we buy something, or let's say we buy a motorcycle, we tend to think of its cost, insurance cost, reliability, good rating, reviews, and fuel efficiency. That's great because we are using our central path thinking. But if we tend to buy a motorcycle for its bright color, fluffy dice, speed, for sex appeal, or because it is more expensive than the neighbor's motorcycles, for its big wheels, then we will turn out to be disappointed afterwards because we are using our peripheral path or our desire and satisfactory path.
Let's take a look on this diagram. We can see that on spontaneous attitude change or in peripheral thinking, the way we perceive the message is so shallow that we only think of our self-desire and satisfaction, which in effect, the outcome would seem to be good when in fact bad. Otherwise, on thoughtful attitude change, the way we perceive the message is deep. We use our cognitive elaboration to think wisely for our long-term satisfaction, which in effect, the outcome turned out to be great, no regrets at all.
In communication, it tests our motivation, ability, attention, and comprehension to process the information on hand. When we use of our central path, high involvement processing will take its place. Due to this, our capacity of cognitive elaboration will respond, which in effect encourage our attitude and belief and later on our behavior to change. On contrary, when we use of our peripheral thinking, low involvement processing changes our belief followed by our behavior. And if our belief and behavior have changed, our attitude towards the information also alters. For me, to sum it up, the central root is used when the message recipient has the motivation and ability to think about the message and its topic. The two advantages of this central root are that attitude changes tend to last longer and are more predictive of behavior than the changes of peripheral root. Otherwise, the peripheral root is used when the message recipient has little or no interest in the subject and has a lesser ability to process the message. Being at the low end of the elaboration continuum, recipients do not examine the information very thoroughly. On commercial and advertising setup, this elaboration likelihood model is very useful. The elaboration likelihood model of persuasion by Petty and Cacioppo of 1986 suggests that folks get persuaded by one of two routes in the mind. The central route, where you need to cognitively process the information in the ad and think logically, and the peripheral route, wherein you need to process the information using your emotion. Take by way of example.
Ambal nila na sobrang kuno kakulot akong buhok.
Ibagada nga, lagi akong walang time para sa anak ko.
Anak silang murag wala pa daw ko kaadtog salon.
I changed my hair a lot because I was insecure.
Gambal sila nga buang ko kuno.
Lalaki ka ba? Bakit sobrang ikli?
Iyan nila, inbuhok ko biya sa sapulanot.
Tubunot kid yung attention seeker.
Gubo? Too loud.
Iyan nila, inbuhok ko bukuntod siya Pilipino.
Sabi ko, ayoko nga.
Hindi ko pag isulod sa isa kakahon.
Kaya alam sin, unoy niiyan sin mga tao.
Ang akong buhok ako kay lahi siya.
Kakaiba pero maganda. I love my hair because it suits me so much.
It makes me feel me.
Makuyag to ako ang buhok ko kay makakanap siya confidence ko.
Ang beauty, ikaw na kung wala kalabot kung anong balon sa iban nga tao. Ang nindot na buhok gani, lahi-lahi na siya sa kada tao.
Ang basig unsa na buhok kay buhok Filipino. This is my hair. Buhok na ako. Buhok ko.
Buhok na ko. Buhok ko.
Buhok ko.
Hambal ko.
On that video, the creator of the commercial used different dialects of the country and with the tagline, "My hair, my say." And I think they use the peripheral route rather than the central one. Because I think the main goal or main objective of the company is to hook the emotional behavior of consumers toward the product. Well, we all know that television is a great avenue for large audiences. If you advertise on TV, your ads or commercials must tap something emotional in your audience. The non-thinking nature of television is one of the reasons why it is called the idiot box. On communication setup, we can use this elaboration likelihood model in making decisions, choosing wisely, and looking after the long-term satisfaction over the short-term ones to avoid disappointments and regrets. So that would be all. Thank you for watching.